Shalom. Before I begin, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakad Kodash, and the honors to the apostles and elders, Great Millstone, and Shalom to the Akim teaching his word, taught the four corners, and true sincerity. I'm back with a lesson through the Spirit of Pride, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, and Lord, we're going to be edifying unto the elect. All right, the topic of this lesson is going into a standard, all right, will be lifted. All right. And before I get into that, the true name of God is Yahweh, which means he is or he exists. And his son's name is Yahweh Shai, which means he saves. And those names are in the Hebrew. Okay, those are his names forever, and they will never change. All right, so the name Jesus, that's not the name, okay, because that letter J in itself, all right, it's only, 400 to 500 years old. All right. So how can the Son of God, how can his name be Jesus when that letter is newly invented? And this is a man that lived 2,000 years ago. Okay, and during that time, the people spoke Hebrew, right? And even in the 6 and 11 versions of the Bible, you see, they have the name, well, not the name, but they have that Jesus, but it's with an I, Jesus, and that's still not the name. All right, his name is Yahweh Shai. That was the name given unto him there, at his birth, meaning he saves. Okay, but going into the lesson, all right, and this word goes out to the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, because we are the true biblical Israelites, the true chosen people of the scriptures. Okay, and the reason I said a standard will be lifted, because we're coming into a time where, you see Trump, all right, it's basically rolling down on Jake. All right, rolling down on Jake, a major sign of, we're in Jacob's trouble. All right, where Esau's coming down. It's like it into these areas where mainly Jake resides, Chicago. All right, you have even this cruel king Trump talking about using cities as training grounds for the military. All right, nothing a president has ever said before, I believe. Okay, showing you that we in those times where Trump is definitely, that guy that the Lord is going to use to cause all hell to break loose. And it's like I'm stuttering. It ain't even been, all right, a whole year yet. All right, it's been since January, 10 months. And we have all this going on. So, and I even seen a clip, right? Trump was talking about, because, when there's a war, basically the president has to stay in office. Trump was like, he said, he just figured out, if there's a war, the president could stay in office. And the nigga said, that's good. Like, he was laughing, like, that's good. Right? He just made a scenario, like he said, in 30 years, right? If there's a war, then the president could stay in office. He said that's good, and he started laughing. Right? So we know we know what time we in, right? All right, but this is Isaiah 59:19. It says, "So shall they fear the name of the Lord Yahweh from the west, and his glory, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of the Lord Yahweh shall lift up a standard against him." Right? Who's that enemy? Who's our number one enemy? Esau, Edom. Okay, he's our enemy. All right, and before I get another precept, when you go into that word, all right, standard, in a blue letter, so I'm going to enemy too. Just to see what it says. This is the enemy. Narrow, straight, distress, adversary, foe, enemy, an oppressor. All right, who's our number one oppressor? All right, Esau, Edom. All right, so when our oppressor, all right, this devil, Esau, Edom, comes, the Lord's going to lift up a standard. Okay, what does flood say? All right, now I ain't say nothing. But standard goes into to flee, escape, to take flight. So, hey, the Lord can have it where, he causes us to get teleported. We just escape out of there. It says to take flight, to depart, disappear. We could teleport, disappear, to drive at. right? To take flight, to put to flight, to drive hastily, to cause to disappear. Hi. So, this is definitely talking about, spiritual power. All right. And spiritual power would be given to the elect to be able to defend themselves against this devil. All right. Because we know the military that this devil has pours billions of dollars into it every year. We know that they got our names on the books, who to come for. All right. They definitely got military or special forces to come after us. All right. So we're going to need a standard to be lifted. Okay. I mean, Yahushua said it himself. He that believe on the works that I do. All right. Oh, no. In John 14:12, it says, Verily, verily, I say unto you, that he that believeth on me, the works that I shall do, he do also. And greater works than these shall he do, because I go into my Father. So, and we already know the beautiful things that Yahushua was doing on the scene. All right, healing, casting out devils. Okay, we're going to do greater things, than that. All right, because, again, we're going to need it. All right, this is Revelation 12:12. It says, Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devils come down unto you. Right now, word devil just means a deceiver. All right, who's the number one deceiver on the planet Earth? Esau, Edom. So when Esau, Edom comes down unto us, like it said in Isaiah 59:19, when he comes down like a flood, all right, the Lord's going to lift up that standard. It says having great wrath. Why is he having great wrath? Okay, because he doesn't want to admit to the fact that we're going to take him out of rulership, and we're in the way of his new world order. All right, prophesying against it. Of course he's mad. Like, who is these niggers, teaching on the highways and byways, right? Okay, I hid this information from them. Now they're coming out teaching the word, and I can't do nothing about it at this time. I gotta wait. All right. Because we go out on our highways and byways. We're not going out with no guns. We just going out there with garments on, which is, spark up the live, and we bring it out. All right, and the angels, and how about Shema Shash, it says protecting us through the angels. Okay, it says having great wrath because he knoweth that he had but a short time. All right, and he's gonna move hastily too, because this kingdom is short. All right, and we know it's short because scriptures tell us that this devil's gonna be loosed a little season. All right, this is little season. All right, he had his renaissance, his rebirth of this revised Roman system. All right, and he's living in the last moments. All right, of it. All right, and he knows the last moments of it because he see us. All right, with this wisdom and knowledge that he tried to hide. All right, and skip down to 17. It says, and the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed. Right, who's that talking about? Us, the elect. All right. To which keep the commandments of the Most High, to have the testimony of Yahushai Mashiach. All right. So again, whatever this devil try to come up against us, all right, we're not to be fearful. Okay, that's another point as well, because the scriptures already tell us that this is gonna happen, and the Lord said the standard will be lifted. Okay. In Acts 1:8, it says, I'm going to start at 6. It says, when they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, will thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? Right? So, and the kingdom will be restored. All right? When Esau, Edom gets taken out of power, that's where it's going to start. And really, it's even starting, now. It's like it. It's even started now by us teaching the word. The scripture says, wisdom bringeth to the kingdom, right? Or if you paraphrasing the wisdom of Solomon. So once you seen the prophets teaching on the highways and byways, that was a sign right there that the kingdom was going to be restored unto us. Okay, because it was taken away. All right, and once you have the wisdom and knowledge of who we once were, or I say once we had the wisdom and knowledge of who we once were, and we had the name of the Lord, and we coming back unto him in sincerity and in truth. All right, with all our heart, mind, and soul. All right, that's the start of us, coming back into our dominion. All right, because what can you do now, right? Because once we're in good standing with Yahweh Shem Shai, what can these heathens do unto us? What can these heathens do when we have our power, when we have the name? All right, it was different when we didn't have it. We was defenseless. Jay calling on Jesus Christ. All right, they're just saying God, not knowing the true name. We was lost, but now we're not. It says, and he said unto them, it is not for you to know the times or the seasons, which the Father had put in his own power. All right, because we don't know the time. Only Yahweh knows, all right, when that day is going to be. But it says, but, all right, and this is not to put, doubt or fear in you because you don't know. But it says, but you shall receive power after the Ruach HaKodesh has come upon you, and you shall be witnesses unto me both in Jerusalem and in all Judea, and in Samaria and unto the uttermost parts of the earth. All right, here in America, represent the uttermost parts of the earth. Okay, us here in the West. All right, we're gonna receive that power again, because again, we're going to need it to defend ourselves. Okay, because so we're not thinking about how it's gonna happen. All right, we just know it's gonna happen. We're not thinking about the each minute detail how it's gonna happen, because as it said, we don't know the time, but we just know it's close. And how do we know? Through the signs that the Lord told us to watch for. Okay, the earthquakes in diverse places, the pestilences. All right, Esau, having these different troops, in Jake neighborhoods, things like that. Signs of the mark of the beast, upwards of the people. All these things are signs in the heaven. All those are signs of what's to come. All right. With that alone is a quick lesson was edifying. I don't give our praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Ba'ashem Kakadash and double honor to the apostles and elders, great millstone, and shalom to the I am teaching this work throughout the four corners in true sincerity. Shalom.